The Southeast Asian star who challenged the world. At just 20 years old, Eala has done what no female player from the Philippines has ever dared to dream of, winning a WTA 125 event and writing her name into Grand Slam history. A nation that had never been on the world tennis map suddenly has a new icon. But at that very moment, Alex faces immense pressure. Is she just a fleeting sensation? Or is she a star who can change the face of global women's tennis? After her victory in Guadalajara and a 7-match winning streak in the Americas, Eala has climbed back into the world's top 60. But the path ahead is truly grueling. This time, she's betting her young career on a high-stakes Asian swing, from Jinan, Suzhou to the Hong Kong Open, a tournament considered her gateway to breaking into the top 50. A Southeast Asian player joining the ranks of the world's top stars? That would be an unprecedented chapter in history. And this is what audiences are most curious about: the little-known details of Eala's journey during the Asian swing. Details that will change how you see her forever will only be revealed at the end of this video. Are you sure you'll watch until that moment? To not miss any secrets from the world of tennis and Hollywood, remember to subscribe to the Pro Tennis Stories 360 channel, where the truth is always more fascinating than fiction. Behind the smile, the untold truth. Every time Alex wins, the audience sees a radiant smile. But few know that to have that smile, she paid with her childhood. At 12, Alex left home to go to Spain, living away from her parents and friends. There were nights she called home, sobbing, "I can't take it anymore, I want to go home." But the next morning, she would be on the practice court like a warrior. A little-known detail: at the Nadal Academy, there was one time when Alex lost a series of matches and a coach told her, "Maybe you're not suited for elite tennis." Instead of crumbling, Alex quietly wrote that phrase in her diary, then swore that one day they would have to refer to her as a champion. And now, as she stands in the world's top 60, even those who once doubted her have to admit, the resilience forged from the tears of a child has transformed Alex into one of the toughest players of the new generation. The fire that can't be extinguished. From a 12-year-old girl crying in the Nadal Academy, from homesickness to a top 50 player crying tears of joy in Hong Kong, Eala's journey has proven one thing: faith and sacrifice can change the entire tennis map. The big question now is, can Eala become the first Grand Slam champion from Southeast Asia? Or will this fire just be a single flash in history? The answer remains to be seen. But one truth is undeniable: Eala has lit a fire that a whole generation of young people are now following. And that fire will never be extinguished. What do you think? Does Eala have what it takes to conquer a Grand Slam? Or should she focus on becoming a regional pride? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep following the most inspiring stories from sports and entertainment, don't forget to subscribe to the Luxury Empire 360 channel, where untold truths are always revealed. Payoff: the fire that can't be extinguished. 10 years ago, at the Nadal Academy, a young Filipino girl cried from homesickness. Her coach at the time said only one thing: if you're strong enough to stay, one day the world will remember you. Today, that girl is Eala, a top 50 player who just made millions of fans rise to their feet at the Hong Kong Open. What makes this story special isn't just the victory. It's how Alex turned every ounce of skepticism into motivation, turning a country on the periphery of the tennis world into a birthplace for a global icon. She didn't just play for herself. Every serve, every backhand carried the ambition of millions of children who believed, if Alex can do it, I can too. And now, the biggest question is no longer does she have potential, but rather, can Eala become the first Grand Slam champion from Southeast Asia? If so, it would be a moment that changes the history of world sports. But even if she never touches a Grand Slam trophy, Alex has done something few ever dared to imagine. She has lit a fire for an entire generation. That fire, fueled by ambition, sacrifice, and belief, will never be extinguished. So what do you think? Does Eala have what it takes to write the next chapter of Grand Slam history? Or is her journey itself the true legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring inspiring journeys from sports and entertainment, don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Tennis Stories 360 channel, where the real stories are told with the most authentic truth. The Miami Open turning point, when the world took notice. Before 2025, Alex Eala was only mentioned within the Asian tennis community as a promising young talent. But that all changed at the Miami Open, a WTA 1000 tournament where legends have left their mark. Arriving at the event ranked outside the top 100, Alex was largely considered just a filler. A commentator even called her an interesting unknown, but she'll be eliminated soon. Yet, in just a few days, this 20-year-old girl made the whole world eat their words. In the first round, Eala stunned the audience by defeating Madison Keys, a former US Open finalist. She then went on to beat Yelena Ostapenko and Aryna Sabalenka, a former world number 1. With each match, thousands of Filipino fans gathered at coffee shops, malls, and even set up outdoor screens to cheer her on through the night. What was so shocking wasn't just the victories, but the way Eala maintained her composure at the most critical points. When facing set point, she would advance to the net and hit a decisive volley instead of retreating to defend. The image of a young girl standing tall on the Hard Rock Stadium court was etched into the minds of her fans. From an interesting unknown, Alex suddenly became the Asian earthquake that international media outlets clamored to cover. But few people knew that after the bright lights of Miami, Alex had to face a silent battle. A battle not on the court, but within her own mind and body. The WTA map, where choices determine the future. In the world of tennis, the WTA system is like a massive tower. Alex Eala has just stepped onto the first rung with her historic WTA 125 title in Guadalajara. But to climb higher, she must pass through the 250s, 500s, 1000s, and finally the Grand Slams, where only the most exceptional players can survive. The core issue lies in her choice. She can continue to play it safe in 125s and 250s to accumulate points, or she can take the risk of jumping straight into tournaments where defeat is almost guaranteed. Some coaches advise building a foundation on small victories, much like Naomi Osaka did before her breakthrough. But there's a counter-argument. If she hesitates, Alex will forever remain a player with potential rather than becoming a major star. The question is, at 20, should Alex follow the safe path or choose the challenging one that could shorten her distance to the world's top 30 in just one season? The race to the top 50, the invisible wall. Theoretically, Alex only needs a few more wins to break into the top 50. But in reality, it's an invisible wall. Many young players have stalled here, from Leylah Fernandez to other prodigies, who were once celebrated but then disappeared. To be in the top 100, you only need talent. But to stay in the top 50, you must have consistency. And this is what Alex is still learning. Her defeat in Sao Paulo wasn't just a loss. It was a reminder that she needs to control her nerves in high-pressure moments. As one WTA coach once said, the top 50 doesn't tolerate those who are easily shaken. One moment of an unsteady hand, and an entire season can collapse. If Alex can break through this wall, the rewards are immense. A direct entry to Grand Slams, the opportunity to face top-ranked players, and global recognition. But if she fails, she could become another name on the list of those who almost made history. The Grand Slam, dream or nightmare? When people mention a Grand Slam, they think of the greatest dreams. Alex had a taste of that at the US Open, where she came back from 1-5 down to defeat the 14th seed. That moment was more than a victory. It was a powerful statement that a player from the Philippines could absolutely shake up the biggest stage in the world. But a Grand Slam is also where nightmares can begin. Many young talents have been buried by the overwhelming spotlight. Emma Raducanu is a prime example. From her magical 2021 US Open win to seasons of constant injuries, the pressure of a Grand Slam can devour a career. Alex's coach admits, a Grand Slam is like a trial by fire. It can forge a champion, or it can burn everything you built. So should Alex run into that fire now, or continue to accumulate experience for a few more seasons to be truly ready? This decision could turn a dream into reality, or an unforgettable nightmare. Pride on Brazilian soil, when sweat turned into a flag. Sao Paulo is not where one would expect history to be written, but it was here that Eala proved she was more than just an American sensation. Entering the WTA 250 tournament, Alex defeated a series of experienced opponents to advance straight to the semifinals, despite the hot, humid weather. Few knew that during one tense match, her previously injured wrist flared up again. When she returned to her bench, Alex's hand was shaking so badly that she had to ask the medical staff to retape it. But then she stood up and continued to fight. The sight of a drop of sweat falling, leaving a stain on her shirt with a Philippine flag, moved the audience. It was as if she was turning every drop of sweat into a reminder that I'm not just playing for myself. After that historic victory, Alex stated, "Sometimes I don't play for points, but for the belief of those who are watching me from half a world away." The quote went viral across Filipino social media, turning Sao Paulo into more than just a tournament. It became a symbol of the connection between the 20-year-old girl and millions of hearts back home. The pressure of a pioneer, a weapon or a shackle. With her ranking climbing higher and higher, Alex was no longer just a promising young player. The press called her the pioneer for Southeast Asia. But that title was also a heavy burden. Back home, every one of her matches was dissected, down to every service error. After a loss in Europe, social media erupted with criticism. Maybe she's just a passing phenomenon. What few people knew was that night, Alex cried in the practice room, telling her coach, "I let everyone down." But instead of simple comfort, the coach replied, "Alex, they need your courage, not perfection." That sentence changed her. From then on, Alex understood that pressure wasn't a shackle, but a weapon. Every shot from that point on was not just to score points, but to answer all the doubts. And the biggest question began to echo. Could she turn that burden into a springboard to reach a Grand Slam? "I have so much to be proud of," the controversial admission. In Sao Paulo, when asked about her feelings, Alex just smiled and said, "I feel lucky. I have so much to be proud of, even though the road ahead is still long." That admission immediately divided public opinion. One side argued she was too humble, because clearly no Filipino player had ever gone so far. But the other side insisted that was the sign of greatness, because true champions never see success as the final destination. Few know that even while ranked 61st in the world, Alex maintained a simple routine, cooking for herself, reading in her hotel room instead of attending parties, and patiently replying to messages from young children in the Philippines. "I want them to understand that I was once just like them, and if I can do it, so can they," she said. That very humility transformed Alex into more than an athlete. She is a living example. But the question remains, is her current pride enough? Or is the next chapter where Alex will redefine what glory truly means? Miami or the US Open, the unending debate. When asked which moment she was most proud of, Miami or the US Open, Eala paused, as if reliving every second. Miami brought her a victory over 3 Grand Slam champions, while the US Open was a classic comeback from 1 to 5 down. For anyone else, just one of these would be enough to go down in history. But Alex chose Miami because that was a long journey where I felt I belonged on the biggest stage. The admission surprised the audience, as many believed the US Open was the definition of an immortal moment. Interestingly, that very answer ignited a global debate. ESPN commented that choosing Miami proved Alex was thinking about her long-term career rather than a short-term moment. In contrast, the fan community insisted the comeback in New York was what gave them goosebumps. Because of this, from a simple question, Alex unintentionally created a never-ending debate, and her name was mentioned more and more, not just in sports columns, but also in everyday conversations.